I know you've been waiting 20 minutes, but I know the skit has to be done this afternoon, but I have to go over this lead-in with Gwen. No, we're almost finished. What book? Oh, yeah, I see it. Okay, yeah, I'll bring it up. Norm, I will be there in a minute. Oh, thank you. I don't know why you asked me to collaborate with Norm every time we work together.
That's what I want. We need something with a little spark for the middle of this show. I know you'll both come up with something bright and peppy.
All right, where was I?
What is it?
Oh, yeah. What is it? Is a question asked by every child. And every time that question is asked, a parent asks what it looks like, by what it is made of, what purpose it serves, or any number of other ways. But however Mom and Dad reply, they're using definition. The idea is to make the process a part of everyday life. See, people tend to think of definition as something you only use with a crossword puzzle or find in a dictionary. Actually, it's something we do all the time.
Well, I see that, Jenny. The introduction's coming along very well, but there's an important point I think we need to include.
Oh, what's that?
Well, the students are going to want to know why they should study definition, and we need to tell them.
Well, for the same reason they should study any of the other ways of organizing ideas. Analysis, description, definition. They're all ways of developing an essay. It's sort of like sending a package.
What?
Well, when you take a package from one place to another, well, say when I send a Christmas present from my house to my cousin's ranch in Idaho, it goes by truck or rail or air, lots of different ways.
Or even several of them.
Right. It'll start out by truck and then go by air and then by truck again and then by car. It's the same thing with these patterns of development. You can develop an idea with description, analysis, and definition. They're all ways of taking a subject and moving it along to its destination.
Okay, but our students will want to know what sets definition apart from the other patterns.
Definition is one of the most powerful uses of language. Our laws, for example, really are definitions that are defined and redefined by legislators and lawyers and judges.
Yes, but I'm not a legislator, nor a lawyer, nor a judge, and neither are our students.
No, but you've been a teacher, and teachers spend a lot of time defining terms for their students, and they, in turn, have to arrive at their own definitions for tests and papers. Really, anytime you're explaining something, you're using definition.
Good. That's what we need to say.
Okay, well, I'll get on it as soon as...
No. You've got your hands full with this skit. Why don't you leave what you've done so far, and I'll finish it off this evening.
With pleasure. In that case, I better go join Norm before he blows a fuse.
Where will you be?
Studio 2, there's nobody in there, and Norm wanted to find a quiet place where we could argue in peace. Oh, hi, Cassie.
Hello.
Oh, hey, how were your exams?
Okay, I think. Grades won't be out for a week, though, so I'm keeping my fingers crossed.
Me too. Good luck.
Thanks, Jenny.
I hadn't expected you back for another hour, Cassie.
Well, I finished my tests early, and I also finished the drawings you wanted.
Oh, good.
Oh, Gwen, thank you for letting me off the last few days to cram. I'll make it up.
I know you will. It's nice to have you back. We're running a little behind with this show.
Well, here I am. I'll say, where's Jenny off to?
She and Norm are working up a skit on circular definitions. Now,
Definitions?
Yes. What I need...
That's what our program's about.
Right.
Just definitions?
What do you mean, just?
Well, isn't the whole show a lot of time to spend on how to use the dictionary?
Oh, it's about much more than that, Cassie. A dictionary usually gives the words limited meanings. We're concerned with extended definitions.
You mean long?
Well, they don't have to be long, but they're normally more extensive than you'd find in most dictionaries. A dictionary's definition is a logical one.
Well, aren't all definitions logical?
Well, they should make sense, yes, but they don't have to be rigid and formal. A definition can sometimes be very creative.
I don't follow.
Let's have a look at your drawings.
Okay, they're right here. I followed your instructions, but some of them are still pretty weird.
Okay.
What are they for?
And I want them to illustrate certain kinds of definitions for the program. Oh, that's very good. Now, how would you define friendship?
Off the top of my head, I would say two people who like each other.
Your American writer, Ambrose Bierce, defined friendship as a ship capable of carrying two persons in fair weather and only one in foul.
Now I understand that picture.
It's a rather cynical definition, and you and I may not agree, but it is creative.
It is that.
You see, extended definitions are not only creative, but they can be done many different ways. A logical definition, on the other hand, tends to take on a specific form.
Which is?
Well, it's basically two steps. First of all, you put your subject into a general category. Then you say what makes it different from the others in the same category. Take a submarine, for instance. A submarine is a boat. That puts it in a category. A submarine is a boat that travels underwater. That's what makes it different from the other boats.
Oh, I get it.
The problem with this form of definition
I thought we were talking about logical definitions.
Well, yes, we are. They're both terms for the same thing. So often this definition just does not prove enough. Now, you can define by characteristics and parts.
No, aren't they the same thing?
No. You could define an Italian dinner by saying it's spicy, delicious, and full of calories. That would be the characteristics. Or you could define it as spaghetti, meatballs, and tomato sauce. Those are its parts.
I get it. An airplane flies through the air. That's a characteristic. And its propellers and wings are parts.
Right, and that takes us to another definition. We just define definition by its characteristics and its parts. How did we do that?
How? Well, I asked you the difference between the two, and you said that an Italian dinner... Oh, by example.
Right, the most common form of explaining something. You can also define something figuratively or by comparison, although the similarity is not so much real as imaginary. This, for instance. What does this drawing define?
Love?
How?
Love is like a rose.
Uh-huh. And this?
Love again. It's what makes the world go round, right?
Yes. Every time you ask someone to define love, you'll usually get a figurative definition.
Well, what's wrong with that?
Absolutely nothing. Let's see what Mr. Webster has to say about love.
Okay.
Okay, thanks. Let's see, L-O-V-E. Ah, an intense, affectionate concern for another person.
Sort of dry.
That's what I mean. And that's what I am. Let's have another cup of coffee.
Okay.
A dictionary's definition sometimes simply will not do. Sometimes it's more effective to compare love with something else.
We just did that, didn't we?
Love's not like a rose, any more than it's like a tulip or a cabbage. It's an emotion, and they are plants. But it does have something in common with friendship, though.
Well, maybe some things, but there are some differences, too.
Well, yes, if you compare and contrast, very likely you'll have a full definition.
What's a full definition?
That's one that answers the question, what is it? And that is what I want you to do.
Come again?
I want you to write a definition for this program.
A definition of what?
Well, we're going to start the program with a description of definition. Jenny and I will take care of that. But we need a specific example to make the introduction more effective.
And our example of definitions can be of our telecourse and our project.
Yes, both.
Okay. Are there any particular ways you want me to handle this?
No, as long as the definition is clear.
How long should it be?
As long as necessary, but no longer. But I would like it by this afternoon. We have to have everything ready by tomorrow morning. Well, I'd better go finish editing the mini-documentary for this show. Any questions before I go?
Oh, no. But I would like to see it when you're done.
Certainly. I'll bring it back as soon as I've finished.
Okay. Telecourse. Telecourse is...
Hi, Cassie.
Oh, hi, Norm. You and Jenny finished already?
Afraid not.
Norm, have you got a minute?
That's just about all I have, Cassie. Just came by to pick up this book that Jenny forgot, an old-time vaudeville sketches. We were a little low on inspiration. I thought it might help. You look a little low yourself. What's the matter?
I am. Gwen asked me to write a couple of definitions for our program, and I'm having problems. Listen, a telecourse is an independent study course using television. It is like regular courses in many ways. It has a teacher, a student, and lessons to be learned. It is also different. The teacher and student usually interact by telephone or by mail. The classroom may be the student's home. The content of the lesson may be the same as in a regular course, but usually it has been adapted for television.
Well, you've compared our telecourse to a regular course. Nothing wrong with that. As a matter of fact, it's a job well done.
Thanks. Now, that seems to work, but it's this second definition of our telecourse that's giving me problems.
Well, maybe you're too close to it. What have you got so far?
Our telecourse teaches composition on a college freshman level.
Well, that's basic, all right. You probably have to expand it a little bit, though. You know, if I were to define our telecourse, I'd emphasize what it teaches.
And that's composition.
Yeah, go into that a little bit. What is composition? What do our students learn? You might even use the same technique used with the first definition.
Compare and contrast our course with a college freshman course.
Yeah, besides being a TV course, how is it the same and how is it different? What's not obvious? Our course is process-oriented. What does that mean?
It means that we emphasize what a writer can do at various stages of his work to improve his writing.
Don't all English courses do that?
Well, a lot do now, but in the past, writing courses emphasized teaching certain standards. Now, we're different because our course...
And she's off and running. You see, that wasn't so hard.
No.
Simple comparison and contrast. But it does show you a lot of different ways of looking at your subject, right? Well, I got to get back to my own work. See you later.
Okay, thanks.
Hello again.
Hi. How's it coming?
Okay. Believe it or not, Norm's an okay writer. Not as good as I am, of course.
Oh, of course.
But he's pretty good. I think we've come up with something. I just popped in to satisfy a sugar fit I was about to have.
A what?
Jelly beans. You want some?
No, thanks.
How are you doing?
Oh, not bad. You want to hear what I wrote?
Sure, Norm can wait a minute. He said you were working on a definition for the show?
Yeah. Our telecourse is a college-level course that teaches the basics of composition. Like traditional English composition courses, it instructs students in such things as shaping a thesis, planning a paper, and composing logical, unified sentences, paragraphs, and essays. Unlike traditional courses, it emphasizes writing as a process as well as a product. The Write course assumes that it is important for a student to learn how to write in order to produce a good paper. What?
Oh, there's nothing wrong with it, Cassie. It's a very good piece of writing. It's just not exactly the way I see what we're doing.
You mean it's not how you would define the show?
See, what I think is really neat about our series is that it's exciting. You know, the difference between an ordinary teacher and an extraordinary one is that a really good teacher makes a subject come alive. And that's how I feel about our telecourse.
Yeah, but I don't want to write a definition that says our show is exciting and all other English courses are boring. That wouldn't be true.
But you don't have to stick to definition by comparison. One of the great advantages of definition is that there's so many ways to do it. You could talk about the things that make our show sparkle. You know, the different elements?
Right. I can define our course by its parts.
And describe it, too. Our show is really interesting. Say that.
Right, its parts and its characteristics. Good idea, Jenny. That's what I'll do.
Yeah.
Spice it up some.
Oh, Norm. It's all right. We can still get finished by 5 o'clock.
We already are finished. While you were gone, I came up with an ending for this skit. Here, I ran you off a copy. I hope you can read my writing.
That's funny.
Well, what's it about?
Circular definitions defining a word with itself.
Yeah, it's a mistake people sometimes make when they're trying to define. Like, if someone said, creativity is being creative. Or someone is intelligent because they have intelligence.
Oh, I see. I've made that mistake myself a couple of times. Yeah, a few times.
Hey, buddy,
Yeah?
you want to buy a wop-doodle?
A what?
A wop-doodle. You want to buy one?
Well, look, I don't know.
Sell to you cheap.
I only got $10.
You're in luck. It only costs $10.
Well, I don't even know what a wop doodle is.
Oh, that's easy.
Okay, what's a wop doodle?
It wops doodles.
It what?
It takes doodles and gives them a wop.
What?
All right, all right. A wop doodle's really the same thing. It's a nut chugget.
A what?
A nut chugget.
What in the world's a nut chugget?
You don't know what a nut chugget is?
No! And don't tell me it's the same thing as a wop doodle.
All right, all right. I'm going to make it easy for you. You got a nug, right?
Yeah.
You got a chug it, right?
Yeah.
Put them together and bingo, you got a nut chugget.
Yeah.
Hey, where are you going?
Home.
All right, all right. You don't want to buy a nut chugget. Give you a good deal on a coot puzzle.
Coot puzzle?
Yeah, it's great for cooting puzzles.
Oh, buzzing coots.
You got the idea.
Yeah, you know, I think I do. Okay, you sold me. Hey, is that the coot puzzle in the bag there?
That's right.
Well, I'll tell you what, I don't have $10, but I'll trade you this bag for that one.
What's in here?
Oh, don't worry, you're getting a good deal.
I am?
Mm-hmm, there are 2 snizzle pumps in there.
To what?
2 snizzle pumps.
What's a snizzle pump?
Same thing as a wop doodle. Come on, it goes to Gwen. I love it. I really like it.
Hi, Cassie. Long time no see.
Hi, Kurt. How's the star of marketing and promotions?
Just fine. Came by to see if Gwen wanted to have a cup of coffee. Where is she?
Oh, she's in the editing room. Kurt, tell me, could you promote our series with this definition?
Sure, what you got?
It's a definition of our telecourse, and we're going to use it in this program. Our course is a college-level telecourse that teaches the basics of composition. It is more, however, than a bunch of... Let's make that collection, okay? It is more than a collection of talking heads who barrage students with facts and information. The series includes skits, music, innovative visuals, and real-life examples of writing in action. The right course assumes that instructional TV can be not only informative and interesting, but entertaining and exciting as well.
Well, that's fine. Everything you say is true, but it's not the way I've been defining the course.
What do you say?
Well, you are probably talking to the world's greatest expert on defining this telecourse. Why, just yesterday I was talking to the representative of an Eastern college, and I must have spent, a half hour defining the series.
Okay, Mr. Expert, how do you define our series?
By what it does for the students.
What it does?
Sure. Either way, it's got to help them out. By giving them college credits or promotions on the job or just making them better communicators.
It does that, doesn't it?
Well, that's my point. When I'm talking to a potential user, I tell them what the course does and what it will do for them.
Well, is what the course does a definition?
Well, why not? How would you define a nurse?
Someone who administers medicines and treatments and takes care of sick people.
Right. Isn't that what a nurse does?
I guess so.
Well, that's the way I see it. Hope I helped you out.
Oh, you have. I'll just have to rethink my definition is all. I never knew there were so many ways of looking at one thing.
Hello, Cassie. How's it going?
Oh, hi. Just finished my latest version. Is that the mini doc?
Yes. What do you mean, your latest version?
Well, Norm thinks the right course is one thing. Jenny sees it as something else, and Kurt defines it a whole nother way.
I see. And this is your latest version, huh? All right. Our course is a college-level telecourse that teaches the basics of composition. Effective communication is an asset in private life and is essential for success in school and work. Students who take the right course learn how to produce better papers. They also learn skills that serve them in their jobs and personal lives. Well, that's a definition by function, and a very good one too, Cassie. So, how come you don't look any happier?
Well, because I don't know if it's any better than the other two. Each one seems as good as the other. After I talked to Norm, I wrote a definition that stressed our content, what we taught.
Yes, well, Norm is very committed to the essentials.
And after I talked to Jenny, what I wrote emphasized the style of our show.
Now, this course is a whole new concept, and Jenny is very concerned about making it work.
And after my conversation with Kurt, my definition talked about the benefits of taking the course.
Oh, of course. Kurt's in marketing. That's what's important to him.
So which definition should I use?
That's up to you.
How would you define our course,
No,
Gwen?
no. I'm not going to let you get off that easily. Would you mind setting up the video player for me?
Sure.
Cassie, there's no one right way to define this course. How I see it would just be another viewpoint. Thank you. Now, you wanted to see my mini documentary for the show. I think now's a good time.
Thank you. Maybe it'll help me.
If I had to define definition, I would define it as a process whereby someone relates a particular thing to a larger context or establishes relationships between the larger context and the particular thing being defined. Now, in terms of games, if we were to start a formal definition with the statement, tennis is a game played on a hard surface between lines on either side of a court and between lines at either end of a court, and a game in which two players use rackets to bat a ball back and forth across the net. We have some descriptive definition, both a formal definition and some descriptive elements of a definition of the game of tennis. By describing the thing, we've shown how it differs from our usual conception of game, or how it fits in the notion of game.
Tennis, anyone? What is tennis? A game? But what kind of game? What makes tennis different from other games? From football, baseball, badminton, or golf? The rules of the game define the game. We're so accustomed to playing or watching tennis that we don't think about the rules. But they are what makes tennis, tennis. For instance, tennis must be played on a court divided by a net. That rule alone makes it different from most other games. It's played by 2 people or 4, but let's say 2, on opposite sides of the net. Each player has a racket. The player uses the rackets to hit a small ball back and forth over the net. These rules are so obvious that we don't even think about them, but change only one of them and the game is no longer tennis. In tennis, points are scored by hitting the ball so that the player's opponent cannot return it within a defined space. The first player to score 4 points wins the game. There are many other rules to tennis, but these are the basics. We define tennis then by saying that it is a game played by 2 people on a court divided by a net. The players compete by hitting a ball over the net until one of them fails to return it successfully. And that's the game. That's it, Cassie.
Okay. Well, that's great, Gwen, but I still don't know which definition to use.
Well, why don't you write another one? What the course means to you.
But I'm just the intern.
Cassie,
What do I know?
Cassie, you are a student. Your viewpoints are just as valid. What do you think about it? I'm going across the street for some coffee with Kurt and the others. Care to join us?
Nope. No thanks.
Okay.
I'm gonna finish this or die trying.
Well, no, Jenny and I will be back in about 20 minutes.
Okay.
Enjoyed that. Hello, Cassie.
Ah, there she is, poor creature, slaving away while her colleagues are carousing and making merry.
How's it going, Cassie?
Aha, the ultimate definition.
Oh, no, just mine. And it's a real hodgepodge, too. It uses comparisons, characteristics, functions, and some I can't even name.
Well, it doesn't matter which technique you use as long as the definition is clear.
Well, What I did was I used what Norm and Jenny and Kurt and you suggested, and I added my own thoughts.
Oh, which are?
Our telecourse is a college-level telecourse that teaches the basics of composition. For the student who finds on-campus classes inconvenient, this is the right course to take. It is lively, focused, and informative while teaching skills that are important. I mean, vital. Let's see. Okay, skills that are vital in school, work, and private life. Because there is no one true way to write, the series does not provide a model for perfect composition. Instead, it emphasizes the writing process, which can answer different needs. Through the right course, each student can chart his or her own course toward more effective writing.
Sounds like a take to me.
So you like it?
Oh, you bet. Now, you know, I'd like to get a copy of that and give it to Kurt. I think it's a lot better than the definition he's been using.
Well, it's all right if it's okay with Gwen.
Certainly. Well done, Kathy.
So it's okay.
Terrific!
It's a whop-doodle.